Hello, I'm Jimmy, not Frank Walker. I'm Jimmy Poulos and I don't sell tiles. I'm doing comedy. I've been doing comedy for a long time. I'm one of the original comedians that started in the Sit Down Comedy Club many moons ago. And I started doing comedy when there was no comedy clubs. I started my career, my illustrious career, in strip clubs, which was a lot of fun because I used to try and play rooms that had 600 or 700 people in there who came to see Cindy and Bertha and Angie and Amy and their boobs. And here I am in the middle telling jokes, which I didn't want to hear, but I wouldn't let them go. I had to laugh at my jokes before I bring the next act on. That was my routine. And I learned a lot. Learned how to shut up hecklers, which came in very handy. And then the Sit Down Comedy Club started about 92, I believe. And by that time, I was pretty up and humming, and away we went. And look at that, 30 years later, I'm still here, and they're not chucking tomatoes at me yet. Well, I was always a bit of a dickhead, as a rule. I used to play in bands. For years. I was a drummer, still am, got the drums. And we did all the things with the band, and we went around and toured and supported and records and all that sort of stuff. And then eventually it bit the dust. And I had a few friends who were in the comedy scene called Australian Bread. It was a duo. And they used to play pubs and do comedy, and I used to go and see them all the time. And I thought, this looks like a lot of fun. And then I happened to mention that to him one day, and he booked me into a gig without telling me. And he said, you're playing with us on Sunday night. You're opening up. Get 5 minutes together. I went, okay. So the first 5 minutes basically were every joke I've ever learnt in my life. And I got on there, people laughed, and I thought, fuck, I could like this. And I did. So we kept going. And here I am, still trying to make people laugh. Just the music. And that kept me off the streets during the day, playing boom tap, rock and roll. We toured Australia, played with a lot of supporting a lot of other bands. Probably every band you can think of. At that time, there was a great pub scene going on in Australia, so we'd go out and play with people like Midnight Oil and Cold Chisel and My Sex and the Radiators and all this sort of stuff. So that's what I was doing before that. But after a while, you can't be playing rock and roll when you're getting on, but you can be doing comedy for a long time, as long as you're funny. Best part about being a comedian? Well, when you get the laughs, it's the best feeling in the world. You cannot get past that. When you don't get the laughs, or when you die, and we've all died, and everybody tells you they haven't is full of shit, we've all died, it's the worst feeling. No hole big enough that you can crawl out of. Where was my first gig? It was a strip club called Manhattan, which was down the valley, and I remember walking in and they said, we need a comedian who could MC and do a strip show. I went, yeah, how hard can that be? So I've walked into the, yeah, oh, where's the dressing room? Yeah, down the bottom, up the stairs to your right. And I've gone down the bottom, up the stairs tomorrow, opened the door, and there's probably 15 chicks in there, aged between maybe 18 to 25, completely starkers. And I go, oh, hi. I'm Amber, I'm Cindy, I'm Crystal, I'm thinking, where do I look? And you gotta look them in the face, and you know how hard that is to look them in the face when it's all happening down there. So that was a bit exciting, but that gets, like everything else, it just gets a bit boring. After about a month, it was like, oh yeah, Jimmy, can you tie my G-string? Yeah, hurry up, quick, you're on stage in 4 minutes, quick, let's go, move. So that was my first gig, and this is probably my millionth. I've got, and I think I still am, the only comedian in everyone that's played in 30 years. I'm the only one I know of that has been headlocked and hauled off stage by a disgruntled punter. It was a corporate gig, and they just didn't like me, and I was supposed to do 40 minutes, and I've done about 8, and they just hated me, and all I remember is one guy come up going, okay, mate, that's enough, stuck me in a headlock, and physically dragged me off stage. And I don't think any other comedian has ever done that. Oh, there's lots. Yeah, every comedian bombs, and there's lots. That's the worst. I've been waiting to become super famous so I can go and tell that story at a, on the chat show with Jimmy Fallon or fucking whatever. But never happened. Oh, here I am telling you. My favourite comedian Australian would have to be Pommy Johnson. I think he's one of the funniest people ever in Australia. Funny comedian worldwide, I think would be Billy Crystal. Because he is just, to watch him when he used to come out, and I used to be in awe, come out at the Academy Awards and be funny in front of like 700 million people. we get shitty here when we go in front of 100 people. You go, I hope I don't die. Imagine trying to do a show in front of 700 million people and thinking don't die. So full admiration to Billy Crystal. I think he is hilarious. But in Australia, Tommy Johnson. He's my number one there. Oh, the highlight of my career. Oh, there's been many. I'm trying to think which one I think would be the best one. Where did I play? I did a couple of shows, theatre shows. And one of the best ones I had was down the Canberra, I think. It was Show Us Your Roots. And it was all ethnic comedy. It was in the theatre, and it was fantastic because people had come there to laugh, and it was all in theatre seating. And it was just a whole lot of different people from around the planet, all different nationalities. And it was great. That was one of my highlights there. I played for the Governor of Queensland. That was a good highlight. So we've had a few highlights over the years. When I first started, it was illegal to say fuck. At the strip club where I was performing, several of the other comics or other comedian MCs got arrested and actually got charged for saying the word fuck. They got charged. It was lucky I never got busted because they arrested them on different nights. And one of them got out of it because his court case was he couldn't swear. He couldn't say fuck on stage, but right next door there was a movie theatre and the movie that was playing was swearing like crazy on the movie theatre. So he said, why is the difference? Why can they say it on the screen and I can't? And the judge agreed. And ever since then, well, now it's become part and parcel. But now the swearing is getting worse because now a lot of people are using the old C word, and I still think that's harsh and you shouldn't be using it. But that's what it is. And when I started, originally it was just jokes. And everybody used to do jokes. And then if 5 comedians were on a bill, you'd have to get there first and listen to what everybody said so you don't all do the same jokes. Okay, this was before we all started writing our own stuff. And then basically we started when the 80s comedy scene started and your Vince Sorrentis and all those kind of people and Smelovich and all those people started coming. That's when it sort of changed to stand-up. But even then, in the early days, it was very volatile. It was very, not volatile, what's the word? Harsh. Like you'd come out and your comedy routine would be picking on people. Oh, nice hair, fucking nice shirt. Yeah. It wasn't really, you just attack. That was the comedy of the time, early 80s. And then the subdued and mellowed and stuff like that. And I remember having hecklers, like you'd have a million heckle lines to put down all the hecklers. Well, tonight, 250 people, no hecklers. Like people have attuned themselves to the fact that comedy, you've got to go and listen. Don't sit there and try and fight the guy with the microphone because you're never going to win. So I've seen a lot of changes, but basically not all of them are good because a lot of comedians come up and don't think it's that cool to be that funny. You don't have to make them laugh. A lot of them come out and tell stories. And I figure that's fine, but if you want to tell stories, fuck off to the Gimpy Muster and tell stories in the tent, all right? When you come to a comedy club, be funny because people have paid to be amused and laugh. So to me, be a comedian, make them laugh. That's the key thing. I see some new people, I try and tell them, don't take it too seriously. That's the thing. If you're starting out in comedy, a lot of people overthink everything and try to make everything complicated and like really smart, which is great. But the problem is, sometimes being smart doesn't make it that funny. So don't take it too seriously. Be light, get up there and have a good time. If you're not having a good, I remember watching some guy and a girl. Some girl, we used to work at Dockside, used to physically vomit they had a big pop plant. She'd vomit every time just before she went on stage. That's how nervous and anxious she was. And I said to her, if you've got to go through that to go on stage, it's not fun. Don't do it. It's simple as that. So you got to have fun, be lighthearted, don't take things seriously, and just go with the flow. Make up your own shit and go. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, because like I said, I've been doing this for 30 years, so I'm not sure. I think I'm going to start doing some cruises. That'd be nice. I've never done a cruise ship before. So I figure I might go and do cruises because I don't think I'll be the next big thing in comedy. So I can't see no TV show coming my way or somebody going, mate, you should host a Tonight Show. So I don't know. I'll just keep working and I think I'll just maybe do some cruises and take it easy. I've been doing it for a while. I'd like to see the new guys come up and take over, see what they can do. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching and keep supporting comedy. And even if it's just for old farts like me, there's a lot of new young comics that are really hot. Keep out and come and watch them. And I'm going now. See you later. We'll catch up at the gig somewhere. Bye.